Take the cash and live comfortably, or take this old journal and walk away. I am Vincent Mark, an orphan taken in by my uncle's family. I slept on the floor. I ate scraps and worked like a servant. So when my uncle died, I expected nothing. But then, the will was read by the lawyer. My cousin Bayo got nothing, but I was given two choices. Option 1, a cash inheritance. Option 2, a dusty journal and an old kiosk. I would take the journal, I said. Foolish boy, my auntie hissed her teeth. You will die poor, my cousin Bayo laughed. But when I opened the journal, my hands trembled. Because inside wasn't just writing with my name in it. There was a secret. A secret so big with an unexpected twist. Why? What was in the journal? And why did Uncle Jide trust me, the nobody orphan, with this explosive truth? But deep down, somehow, I knew Uncle Jide didn't give things. He gave tests. Grab your popcorn. This is a heartwarming tale of betrayal, greed, and the story of a poor boy whose fortune changed. I arrived at the corner shop under the afternoon sun, sweating profusely. It wasn't only the sun, but the fact that Uncle Jide could upturn everything even after his death. I looked back to ensure Bayo wasn't following me. He was mad, and I was too. Just that our mad was different. I was mad at myself for going for hardship and struggles when I could have easily chosen cash inheritance. But Bayo was mad at me and his father, especially. Vincent, you are here, Mama Eka greeted, rubbing her knees with a minty cream. She was sitting outside her compound, listening to the news on the radio. Mama Eka was a retired woman who owned the small compound behind Uncle Jide's corner shop. Even though she had retired from her old job years ago, Mama Eka didn't like sitting idle. So she started selling peanuts, chin-chin, and a few essentials just to keep herself busy. Mama Eka, good afternoon, I greeted. I just came to say what I have done to myself, I muttered, turning towards the corner shop. I pushed the door open and stood at the entrance for a second. There was dust in there as they enveloped me. It was this kind of dust that habitated a place when the owner had been gone for a long time. Old biscuits boards were stacked together, flyers pasted to the counter, a torn calendar from 2018, and receipts pinned to the inside of an open cupboard. Behind the last receipt was a small key. I moved closer and pulled it out. A second key? I stared at it, tilting my head. It wasn't like the corner shop key the lawyer had handed to me. It was smaller, almost like. For the drawer under the counter, Mama Eka's voice piped up from the open door. I turned, startled. You snuck up on me, he smiled, tightening her wrapper. You think old people don't move fast, eh? That drawer has been locked since 2019. He told me to make sure no rats got to it. Guess you are the new rat now. I chuckled, then stopped. What was in there? She shrugged. I have no idea, but he used to open it when people came late, when he had to take some urgent steps. I stared at her, my brows furrowed slightly. You will get the hang of it, son. She laughed nervously, waving her hand dismissively. I tidied the place with my shirt pulled over my nose, still feeling like a clown. I swept, arranged, wiped, and somehow I felt more foolish. Without opening down, I glanced up. Wow, you really came, Chichi said, standing in a sundress, a smile on her face. I knew you would pick the journal. I've always had that I want to suffer and be deep energy. Wow, thanks. Chichi was my nosy neighbor, a low-key gossip. I liked it though. It helped prevent me from drowning in my thoughts most of the time. I brought you sausage and malt so that you won't faint. I threw my head back and laughed. She glanced around. So, what's the plan? Honestly, I sighed, taking a seat at the counter. I don't even know. I found this key and... Key? An angry voice yelled. We turned. Bayo. His face and fists were clenched, like he had been practicing how to punch my name into my face. You are really settling in, eh? Bayo. My father was going to sell this place. He snapped, walking in further, looking around. We talked about it. It was supposed to go. So why didn't he? His voice became teary at the end. I don't know, Bayo, I said, wiping my hands on my jeans. Maybe he changed his mind. Yeah? After he suddenly discovered you were his messiah? He asked. making an ear quote with his hands, shifted beside me, our laps touching mine slightly. Bayo looked like he hadn't slept for days. I should have felt angry. Instead, I just felt sad. I'm not trying to steal anything, Bayo. You gave me a choice. I choose this. Then own it, he hissed. Because whatever secrets he left are yours now, Daddy's boy. Don't act like you can't go further when everything starts showing its ugly teeth. He turned on his heel and left, deliberately slamming the door wide open. Chichi raised a brow. Well, that was not awkward at all. I stared down at the key in my palm again. What had I gotten myself into? The next morning, I arrived at the corner shop early, ready to get used to all this. And my car wasn't outside as usual, and I wondered why. I adjusted my headphones as I hummed softly to the song Chichi had recommended on Spotify. I opened the door, and instantly, the hairs on my body stood up. A shiver ran down my spine, and I scanned the room. Something wasn't right. I gasped when I saw it. Someone had broken into the store, and nothing was stolen, except a page from the journal. I was ready to call it off. Everything. I sat on the wooden stool inside the corner shop, my mind racing with thoughts. It was 3 days after the break-in, and nothing had changed. I had even gone through all the files and receipts Uncle Jide left, even the leftovers for wraps. Maybe I will see something, I had thought. My head banged with headache. Zeno, the one who might help me out, had not shown up since the day I caught him peeking at me from the small window at the far corner of the corner shop. Zeno was Uncle's ex-convict, turned assistant, who had been with Uncle for 5 years. He stole from his employer in order to pay his sick mother's hospital bill. Got caught, jailed, and lost everything, including his mother. I sighed and stood, dusting my buttocks. My pants weren't dirty. It was just out of habit. A group of school children were buying pop-up from the vendor 2 stores down. The smell hit my nose, but I wasn't hungry. I was tired of doing this alone. Vincent, what is wrong with you? Chichi asked as soon as she stepped up the gutter into the corner shop. She was with a bag of plantain chips. Everything, I yelled, clapping my hands together. Chichi, everything. In fact, I was done. I am not doing this again. I admit, I was stupid. She opened the bag and threw some chips into her mouth. Chewed, then pointed the bag at me. You want? I rolled my eyes. I am serious here, Chichi. She kept the bag away and sighed. And you keep saying that, but you don't leave. You said the same thing yesterday, the day before yesterday too. Because you keep dragging me back, I pointed out, gesturing with my head. Well, someone has to. If you leave, what will you fall back on? You'll go back to washing Uncle Jide turned Bayo's car? And you think he would allow you? Do I have a plan B? I couldn't bet everything on one thing, no matter how much I believed in it. If this corner shop didn't work out, I had to have something else to fall back on. I breathed in and pulled out a folder. Instead, he bought shares in my name 4 years ago. How I knew about this was because I once worked as freelance copywriter some years ago. I was 29 and I had worked more than 29 jobs. It's nothing to show for it. She raised a brow. Wait, what? Yes, it's there. Official and everything. Why? I don't know. And guess who the investment company is? Who? One Dapo Okon & Co. Ventures. The same name on one of the real estate receipts. I double-checked with the government agency that registers companies here. The company doesn't even exist anymore. Chichi leaned back and slid her wig behind her hair, like the Americans do. So, he trusted you with something, or was trying to protect something, or you were part of a clean-up plan. Great. Both of our minds were running with thoughts and ideas. Feels more like I am part of a setup. I looked at my dried hands, stained with ink. Chichi leaned in. So, what will you do now? I didn't know. That was the issue. The back door opened and Mama Eka stepped in, slowly with a bowl of granuts she normally put together. Mama Eka, why would you come through that door like that? I asked, a little bit irritated. I got that she was being overly concerned and nosy, but still, there was something called privacy. The back door led to her compound. I wonder why Uncle Jide didn't close off that door permanently. Ha! I forgot Jide is no more, she said, wiping her eyes with the hem of her buba wrapper. Whatever angry comment I wanted to give died when I heard that. Continued taking a seat beside Chichi. I even dreamt about him last night. My hair shut up. He was by the sea. He was wearing that blue buba he used to love. He was laughing like he used to before the trouble. What trouble? I asked. She sighed and placed the granite bowl beside her. Jide wasn't always this small man. He was once a big man, Vincent. He had friends who wore beautiful and expensive agbadas and carried bags, briefcases. Then what happened? He took a loan. Someone convinced him to invest in a big estate, she said, demonstrating the big with her hands. They said it would double in a year. He used his house and the shop as collateral. She looked at me. He lost everything in 8 months. I swallowed hard. Sweat pulling on my forehead now. Convinced him? She shrugged. They called the man Dapo. I don't know the surname, but he had one firm back then and it disappeared. Recently, I heard that there is back with a different name. Chichi didn't say anything as she chewed on her chips. He said he is back. Are you sure? I didn't see him, she said, like that excused her. But Mr. Aniete, the dry cleaner down the road, told me this morning. He heard one man talking to his boy, saying the boss was now going by a new name. But the car was the same. Black Mercedes, tinted windows, the same dent on the side. Do you know the new name? He tried to remember. Something Yoruba. By something. By? I turned slowly to Chichi, but she was already looking at me, her eyes wide. Bayo! We said in unison. No, it can't be. It can't be the same Bayo Jide. Bayo was Uncle Jide's son. Mama Eka laughed hard, tears welling up in her eyes. You two are crazy. Yes, Bayo wasn't that smart to come up with something like this, and I doubt he hated his father this much. Suddenly, someone caught my eye from its periphery. The same Zeno was peeking at us again. A black Mercedes with tinted windows parked at the front of the corner shop, directly blocking us. I stood and was about to inform the person politely to leave when I noticed the small dent on the left side. My heart raced and I froze for a second. Door opened and a man alighted in a white agbada, designed at the edge with black threads. He glanced up and smiled, exposing a dirty set of teeth as he extended a hand. Vincent Mark, I am Dapo Okon. You can call me Mr. Shark. He was tall and dark-skinned with a watch that probably cost more than his whole shop. He smiled like he knew something I didn't. Vincent, he said like he had known me for years. I hear you are the new man of the house. My throat dried up and he didn't shake his hand. I was fond of Jide, he continued, unaffected. He was a good man, just naive. I didn't like the way he said that. So you are here for condolences? I asked, folding my arms. He chuckled. Not quite. I'm here for what he owes me. He took out a loan years ago for the land. I gave him good rates. But Jide, they didn't believe in finishing things or paying back. I lifted my chin high. He told me everything was cleared. That was a lie. I didn't even know he was in a debt or being bullied by this shameless man, but I wasn't about to give that away. Ha! You know how the old man liked to get in debt every time. He slid his hands into his suitcase and brought out the paper. I took it and gazed over it, like a contract or such, with signatures at the bottom. A repayment of 2 million naira is to be made by the year's end. Else, ownership of the land and all property reverts to the lender. My stomach dropped. Uncle Jide would never sign this, I said, reading it all over again. He wasn't that desperate to give out all his properties. He sighed dramatically. Oh, darling. I understand that you are confused at this stage of your life. I would, if I was in your shoes. He moved closer to me. Now, I will make it simple. You pay my money or I take the land. I am not greedy, but I have needs and wants too. So, until the end of the month. Then he turned on his heel and left, his car coughing smoke out. I bent, my head in my hand. I had gotten myself into a deep mess. Why was everyone giving me 2 options to choose from? Uncle Jide jumped into a loan without fully verifying it. and now it has cost him. I doubted he even checked through the contract he signed, because if he did, he would have understood it was dangerous. Some debts are the kind that can wipe out years of hard work. If I wanted to avoid that kind of loss, I needed to stay out of the bad debts for as much as I can. You know you are in trouble, right? Zeno said as he showed up behind me. I sighed. People should stop giving me semi-heart attacks. I eyed him up and down, and he finally decided to show up today. Uncle Jide was almost framed for fraud. My brows froze slightly. Why? Who? Dakpo? He nodded. It was 4 years ago. There was this business Mr. Dakpo was doing, using fake foreign accounts and so on. He made Uncle the scapegoat. Uncle narrowly escaped. Why didn't he report to the police? I asked. Uncle said he had his reasons and he was waiting. For what? For you. We closed the corner shop early and left for my apartment. He walked beside me in silence, our feet crunching over dust and gravel until we reached my apartment. I unlocked the door and he entered first. I dropped Dako's fake contract on the small and old table between us. He took it and studied it again. What did I say about this man, Vincent? He has always been a vulture. I stared at my hand, still stained with ink, and suddenly thought of something. I took the contract from him and brought it to my nose. Ink. Gave it back to him. Can you smell the ink? He did the same and frowned. It's new. At most 3 weeks. Uncle Jide has been gone for 4 days. Zeno muttered something under his breath. Do you think he's lying? Like he fabricated it? No, I said, leaning back. He has done it before. He looked at me. I tilted my head. Uncle Jide measured him once, vaguely. He said if Dapo ever came, I should listen more than I speak. Zeno's face went a little bit pale. That means he knew Dapo would show up. Looks like it. Let's call Chichi. She has been working part-time with Land Rage. Maybe she will know what to do with this. I nodded as he brought out his phone to call her. The smell of fresh ink on the papers reminded me of how easy it is to overlook the details. Paying attention to the small things keeps you from making the same mistakes. I needed to be alert. 20 minutes later. I have seen this format before, Chichi said. Last year. And even the year before that. He has done this before? Chichi nodded. At least 7 times. It is always the same pattern. She demonstrated with her hand. Someone dies or falls terribly ill, and suddenly Dapo shows up with a contract to confuse the children left behind. It is always backdated. I swallowed. And he gets away with it? He has someone inside the city lands and titles office, she said. Maybe more than one, because the documents get logged, stamped and filed. Got to be about 2 people. Dino looked at me. You can't take this to the police, not like this. No, I agreed. She will disappear before we leave there. She cleared her throat. I can trace the source though. I will find out who filed this one and if anything changed in Uncle's land record in the last month. Are you sure? She rolled her eyes, flinging at her wig. Vincent, if you let that man take what is yours, he will keep coming. You know it won't end with the shop. I clenched my jaw. I knew that already. Trace it, I told Chichi. And don't let anyone know you are looking. Be careful. Uncle Jide trusted people without doing his homework. Always check the facts to understand what you are getting into. Never trust blindly. Dapo's building smelled like money. It stood tall in Marinata, built with marble floors and an elevator. There was a bored-looking receptionist in the room I entered. My hands were shaking. As I said, I am here to see Mr. Shark. And before she could argue, the door I had opened. 2 men in black suits stepped out, and I paused. How did they know I was in here? I glanced up to check for CCTVs, and my heart raced when I saw 2. One of them nodded. He's expecting you. I don't know what I thought would happen, but I didn't expect the sudden blow to the back of my head. Everything turned black. When I woke up, I was seated in a chair that was seated across from me. His agbada was different. Navy blue this time, like Uncle's. Children nowadays don't learn, he said slowly, staring at me. I admired you a little. You have some guys, Vincent. I thought you agreed you would pay, but you are here. I straightened. You forged that contract. I have got proof. He smiled. Proof? What is proof when no one listens to you? Or have you tried to take it to the police station? He waved his hand, and one of his men took the envelope from my pocket. Really thought this would work? I thought I would try, I said. I am not Uncle Jide. I don't get scared easily. His eyes darkened, and before he could say anything, the door opened. Bayo. I stared at him. He was breathing fast, and he wasn't looking at me. He told me he was bluffing, Bayo said. My stomach dropped. You? He flinched. I didn't know I would ambush you. You told him I was coming. How could you? Dakwa laughed. Well, this is awkward. I clenched my fists. You backstabbed me. Why? Why? Even if you hated me, why would you do this? Bayo looked at me. I am the first son, he said, almost like he believed it. I should have inherited the shop, the land, everything. You think just because my father took you in, you are entitled? Only if he had just understood his father's love wasn't something that could be taken away by anyone. Maybe things would have turned out differently. I stared at him. You think this is about land? His jaw clenched. It is now. That was smirked. You should probably go now. Someone said your little corner shop is burning. I stood up quickly and ran past them, down the streets into the stairs. The first thing I saw as I approached was flames up in the sky. People were already gathered, throwing buckets of water into it, shouting. I pushed through the crowd. Zino was already there, holding Mama Eka. She was crying. I couldn't speak. Our corner shop was gone. The signboard had melted and was already dangling. The store itself had burned and turned ash. Mama Eka whispered to me, It's not all lost, son. I turned slowly. She held a brown folder that was burnt a little but was still sealed. I made a copy of the journal, she said. Chide gave me one. He said someone would betray him. And honestly, I thought he was being paranoid. My eyes went dizzy for a second, and I swayed. Zeno grabbed my shoulders and steadied me. Why didn't you say anything? I was waiting to see who would set the fire. Later that night, I found Bayo. He was at the back of his father's old house, sitting on the steps and drinking. He didn't look at me. You burnt it? I asked. I didn't know they would do that, he said. I just told that you were investigating something. He took a step forward. And you almost got me killed. He dropped the bottle and stood. You think you are better than me? No, I said. But I know who I am. He laughed bitterly. And for a second, I pitied him. He always had it easy. Easy? I snapped, irritated. You're not the only one whose mom left. My mom left too. My dad died in a car accident. I lived with a man like your dad. I was scared every day but still struggled to put food on the table. You call that easy? We were breathing hard. Then he shoved me. I hit him twice. The anger bubbling inside of me had reached its peak and I was ready to let it out. If it meant bringing sense into this boy's head. He hit me back and we fought. I winced as I laid on the floor, blood tasting in my mouth. Are you done? Or you should start all over again? I'm done. 4 days later. Community meetings were always held once every 3 months. The small hall was filled to the brim. Inland city's population was about 3,000. The fans were not helping matters as they sounded slowly. Mama Eka sat beside me. Chichi was already setting up the projector. Zeno leaned against the back wall like a bodyguard. Bayo walked in, limping slightly. There was a cut healing under his left eye, courtesy of the fight we had. Dak was sat in the front row in a stupid agbada as usual. The elders addressed us, paid a 1-minute silence to Uncle Jide, and called it a day. Then Chichi played a video. It was everything Dak had said. When I went to his office that day, Chichi had advised that I record his confession without his knowledge. People gasped. Zeno and Bayo had gone to the police station to plead with 2 trusted officers. They had to do something, even if it was a little. 2 policemen came in. Napo stood angrily and was still trying to talk, but they cuffed him. Me? I looked at Bayo. He looked at me. Mama Eka brought out the second will and opened it. It was in Uncle's handwriting. If and only if the two of them can work together, they inherit everything together. If not, it goes to the community trust fund. What? So, you are business partners now? Bayo asked as he looked at me, scratching at his head. I shrugged. I guess so. He chuckled and extended a hand. I took it. We weren't brothers yet, but it looked like we were getting there. One day, we would. Only if I knew. Uncle Jide always said money wasn't the only thing people fight over. They fought over egos, secrets. Funny thing was that, in trying to protect the shop, I almost lost everything that couldn't be bought. My persistence paid off. I wanted to give up so many times, but I didn't. I kept showing up, and that made all the difference. I smiled as I glanced at Chichi and Zeno, my true friends. They didn't run when the things got messy. Neither would I. My wisest choices didn't seem wise at first, just quiet steps, unseen. But I trusted the journey, and I still do, because it wasn't finished. There was so much left, so much to unfold from what Uncle Jide left behind, the real inheritance. So rest now, dear listener, until the next story finds you. Close your eyes if you like. I'll be right here when you return. Sweet dreams.